Last year I worked on making sure I had all our favorites for the Thanksgiving table, but keto-friendly versions. Of course, the turkey is fairly easy. Turkey is turkey, no big deal. Mashed potatoes, just do mashed cauliflower. The one thing I really wanted to make really good was a green bean casserole. When I moved to the United States in 1996, I had never even heard of a green bean casserole, but I have grown to love it over the years. My husband loves it with mushrooms in it. I don't like mushrooms, but I always add it since I love him and I want to make him happy. I'll just pick the mushrooms out. That's no big deal for me. So this particular recipe is going to have mushrooms, but you can omit them if you don't like mushrooms. And I think green bean casseroles are a little bit like chili or stew or things like that. Everyone has their own personal touch to it. You can definitely change this recipe so it fits your taste and the things that you like and how you like your green bean casserole. The very first Thanksgiving I cooked, I think it might have been in 97 or 98, I looked in my husband's cookbook to see what the heck this green bean casserole thing was, and it had that traditional recipe, you know, the one with the condensed Campbell's soup and all that stuff. One of the benefits of eating a ketogenic diet is that it's also more of a whole food type of diet. So instead of using a processed soup that's full of carbs, we're just going to make our cheesy sauce from scratch. I'll be listing the recipe down below, but let me also show you what we're going to be using in this recipe. So I'm cooking this for just my husband and myself, so this is based on 2 people with leftovers. If you have a larger family, you can most definitely double this recipe or make it as big as you want. So today I'm using 1 pound of fresh green beans, and I have cleaned both ends. I'm just going to leave them long. I like them like that. You're going to need some bacon, cooked bacon. I used about 8 slices. You can use more or less. It doesn't really matter how much you use. It just to give it a little bit extra flavor. I'm using 1 carton of mushrooms. Don't rinse your mushrooms. Just make sure you use a brush to clean them. I'm going to use half an onion, fairly small onion. I'm going to be using some white wine in the sauce. If you're not going to drink the wine, I recommend you get one of these small containers. It's great for cooking. Pinot Grigio is usually a dry wine. You want to go for as dry as you can find to minimize carbs. I'm also going to use some fresh parsley. You're going to be using about 6 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese, so not quite a full package. And for a cheese sauce, we're also going to be using some Dijon mustard. Originally, you would use Worcestershire sauce for this, but it has quite a large amount of sugar in it, so I'm just going to use some tamari. You can use soy sauce. Coconut aminos is great. You're going to use some chicken broth. I did not have any bone broth at home, so I'm going to use this. Unsalted is a good idea, so you can adjust the seasoning on your own. We're also going to use some cheddar cheese. Instead of breadcrumbs on top, we're going to use pork rinds. This is about 15 grams of pork rinds that I have crushed. And I'm going to be using some garlic powder. If you have granulated garlic, you can use that instead. And if you have bacon drippings left over, you can use that for your fat in this dish. I'm going to be using some avocado oil. And then we just need some salt and pepper. And that's it for ingredients, so let's get cooking. You need to cook your green beans. A quick way to do this when you're just going to be using a recipe like this is to cook them in a microwave oven. And you put in about 2 tablespoons of water, just cover them in a plate and steam them on high for about 4 to 5 minutes. So I'm just going to put my plate over here. While we're waiting for the green beans to cook, go ahead and dice your onion, mince your garlic, and mince your parsley. I'm going to be using here about a tablespoon of minced parsley. After you take your green beans out, drain the bowl, and then you can mix in your bacon. Just mix that together. Then put some either bacon drippings or, in my case, avocado oil in the pan, and start sauteing your onions until they're nice and translucent. When your onion looks like they're nice and translucent, add in your garlic. You want to cook that for a little bit, just until they start getting fragrant. The next step is our white wine, and we're going to use 4 tablespoons of white wine in here, so you want to add that in. And you want to cook your wine until the smell of alcohol is burned off a little bit. And you can now add in your parsley as well. After you add in your parsley, you can go ahead and add your mushrooms. And just want them to cook down a little bit. When your mushrooms have cooked down nicely, go ahead and add your cream cheese. And also make sure you have your oven preheated to 350 degrees. You can use 6 ounces of cream cheese. Since I'm using a little bit more mushrooms today, I'm going to use the whole pack because, you know, I just hate wasting it. I'm probably not going to use the extra cans. Just make sure you break down the cream cheese into small pieces so it can easily melt. And while it's starting to melt down, you can start adding your chicken stock. We're going to be using 3/4 of a cup. You want to add a little bit at a time to help break up your cream cheese and melt it. Adding on your broth or stock. Keep on adding your chicken stock. Cheesy sauce. Looks like everything is melting good, so we're going to add the rest of the chicken stock. So 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth is just under 2 deciliters. And after you have everything melted down nicely in your sauce, looks like we're pretty much almost there. Just a small piece here. And now you want to add your cheese. I got 3 ounces here, which is about 85 grams. I'm going to add that in and let it melt. You want to add about 1.5 teaspoons of Dijon mustard and a little splash of your tamari, Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, coconut aminos, whatever you are using, and stir to combine everything. And at this point, you want to adjust the seasoning, so you can take a little taste test and see if it needs any salt. After you go ahead and take your pot off the heat, add your green beans and bacon mixture in there and stir to combine it well. Alright, after you mix everything together, go ahead and add it into your casserole pan. You could probably use a smaller pan, but I like it spread out a little bit. When you have everything in the casserole pan, it's time for a topping. I like to add a little bit extra cheese on top. You don't have to, but just a little bit I think is nice. And I'm talking a little bit, not much at all. Then we have our crushed pork rinds. And I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm also going to add a little bit of salt. And to this I'm going to be adding about 1 to 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. It's up to you what kind of fat you use. You could also use olive oil if you want to. And then you just want to use your fingers to mix it all together nicely. And then you want to spread the mixture on top. Nowadays you can actually buy keto-friendly breadcrumbs, which is essentially this, just already made for you. But this is an easy and a lot cheaper way to do it. So normally you would be using probably, you know, the traditional French fried onions on top, but of course onions are not very keto friendly at all. So this is a great substitute to get that nice golden crunch on top. You can actually pre-make this casserole a day in advance to this stage and then just warm it up a little bit for maybe 8 minutes or so in a microwave oven after taking it out of the fridge, and then put it in the oven. We're going to put it in for 15 to 20 minutes in 350 degrees, 175 degrees Celsius. You want to see a nice little bubbly sauce around the edges. That's how you know when it's ready. Our green bean casserole came out looking nice, and I hope you enjoy having it on your holiday table this year. Enjoy!